Hello everybody, welcome back to our Medieval Total War campaign as the French in Glorious Achievements mode. We're sitting here at the year 1303. We've got fewer than 20 turns before we flip over to the late era, and that will be the next point at which we are going to be counting points for Glorious Achievements. So 1321 is the year. We may get there in this episode. What I'm also planning this episode is an invasion of the English. Now, the English are currently an ally, so we are going to have to do something here, right? We're going to have to either betray our alliance, which is going to hurt our influence. Fortunately, his influence of King John has started to tick upwards slightly. We're up to 4. Or we're going to have to find, someone else to ally with who can get into a war with the English. Or maybe between the time, now and the time that we're going to do any of those things, the English will just decide to attack us, or the Spanish will, or something else will happen to get our attention. But this is sort of the goal here. Anjou is not only a homeland for us, but it's sort of a keystone that would connect all of our provinces, and also will split the English in the west over here from the English in the east, sort of in the German side of things. So if we take Anjou, we can then take Normandy pretty easily. We can then take Burgundy, and then we could sort of have our realm a little bit more centralized. We do need all of those places, again, just to be clear: Normandy, Anjou, Burgundy, and Provence. The only one that we're not looking to take soon is Provence, because the Pope has it, so we won't be doing that. Of course, this nightmare is still here, but we're training up a lot of good units now. We've got some chivalric knights, we've got some chivalric sergeants, and then we also have a bunch of chivalric men-at-arms. A lot of these guys with some substantial armor upgrades. We've got some crossbowmen down here as well. We've got Pavese, what is this, Pavese arbalesters? We've got arbalesters for sure, which I love this unit art for them. And I think we're planning Pavese crossbowmen, right? We don't have Pavese arbalesters here just yet. So we've got a good mix, and I think we could throw all of this at the English and do a lot of damage, even though they kind of locally outnumber us. So that's going to be the plan. Let's end the turn here and see what the AI is going to do in response to who knows what. The English, are currently not in any wars, but I imagine they're going to be cleaning up some rebel provinces and then looking for another fight. Okay, yes, they indeed moved down to Syria. This was a rebel province about a second ago, but they have it. And now the question is, are they going to sort of sit tight here, or are they going to take the fight to us? Are they going to press the borders with the Golden Horde? This is a faction that they are not allied with, and they have, I believe, they've been at war with them in the past. So that'll give us, some sort of indication maybe of where they're at. What I could do then, in order to potentially avoid causing a loss of influence, is try an alliance with the Horde. They are not, again, they're not at war with anybody that I am allied with at the moment. They're not allied with any of my enemies. So if I could get like a bishop over there, and I should have been trying to do this a little bit sooner. Here's the bishop right here. Let's set him in Kiev and see if we can get an alliance there with the Khan. If that's agreed, then if and when they go to war with the English, we can drop our alliance with the English and attack the English with relative impunity, right, without worrying too much about the consequences. We do still need to keep an eye on this, on the loyalty of our newly trained units, because they're not necessarily the most loyal, are they? I think I'm going to keep some of my guys up here in Brittany, though, just because when we hit Anjou, we can hit it from all sorts of different directions. I'm training halberdiers, too. I'm training a lot of stuff. I really want to get going here, and so that means I'm starting to really put effort into training. Alright, that's the German Emperor gone. Okay, so extra zeal in all of France. Great. What does this say? Relic of bread. Okay. Alright, interesting. We've got our Byzantine re-emergence. Unfortunately, it's largely centered in Rhodes, but we do also have a bit of an emergence here in Rum. So this is another opportunity for us to get an alliance and switch allegiance with the English. So let's see. Okay, we've rejected. We're not able to get an alliance with the Golden Horde. So we'll have to try the Byzantines here. So we don't have anybody on Rhodes, and we need to get somebody there fast. There we go. We can get there in a turn. The reason is the port could be destroyed in this attack, right? This is going to be a battle here that needs to be resolved, and there's a chance the port could be destroyed, in which case we would have no opportunity to ally with the Byzantines. Now, they start off with some interesting units. Got a bunch of arquebusiers. A lot, actually. Pavie's Arbalest. Okay, they're probably going to just get wrecked up here, but this might be good enough for what I'm trying to do. Just get an alliance so that I can drop my alliance with the English. Alright, I need to give some thought to Constantinople, though. We've got a ton of ships here, which is great, but we also need a lot of units. So let's just start training some up, since we've got the money. Alright, here's how I think I'm going to play this. Constantinople is going to have a, it's got good fortifications. Not the best, but I'll work on that. We can play this like a siege, because depending on who attacks us, we may not be able to reinforce by sea. So let's get like a small but really good army here. So like, get rid of you. I guess keep you, get rid of you. Like, who's going to be good in a siege? Alright, unfortunately, yeah, these guys we don't need. Alright, we got possibly too many crossbowmen and or archers for a siege. We want to make sure that, like, how long is this going to last? 2 years. Okay, we want this to last for longer than that. We want this, a siege here, to last for a very long time, to sort of force an assault. So we might just need to ship in some elites. Yeah, like these guys, right? We don't need all of these guys here. I think we probably don't need the Hobilars. We'll keep the Royal Knights. We'll keep the Teutonic Sergeants just for some cav. Urban Militia, I mean, the unfortunate thing here is it's a really good general, but I'd rather him be something other than Urban Militia. Well, okay, we want some archers. We want some spears. We want some good infantry. So what else can we train? Halberds are really good. Alright, we've got some halberds right up here, actually. These guys are completely disloyal, but we can send them down anyway. And we can also get some gunners. Okay, so halberds, chivalrics. Let's get some chivalric men-at-arms. Just a really good armored guy. Okay, yep, like that. Get rid of you, get rid of you. Alright, all of this, we'll have to fit in, and we still will probably get rid of a bunch of this. Like, yeah, get rid of the crossbows here. All right, this is looking better. Obviously, these guys will factor into a siege as well. Let's see what that looks like next year. Okay, crusade from the English has just entered Flanders. Alright, yes, we'll let it pass. Okay, we've got a new king. Let's see. Alright, yep, they're going for the Horde. Alright, and let's find the king here. So this is, oh no, Louis VII. He's 51. Okay, we've got lots of people coming in beneath him. And I may just not bother getting him married. It's probably going to happen anyway. Like, some lady of the court will approach, and I'll just take it at that point. But we've got so many heirs. Prince John is 7, right? So I'll worry about, like, I don't even know if I care about Prince Charles getting married. Where is he? Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. He's 44. So we'll wait for Philippe, maybe, if he takes over. As the heir apparent, maybe Jean. And we'll start getting some of those younger guys married if we can. Alright, this is going to Khazar, so it's going to screw up. Look at this, they're taking half of my guys out of these stacks. Well, whatever. Alright, that's 2 years. 2 years. That's too much. Maybe we don't need the archers, and maybe we don't need these guys. Maybe we don't need 2 crossbows. What's this? I do think I want to get rid of 1 more unit. I want to keep the halberdiers. I want to keep these guys for sure. And I want at least 1, like, a kind of big spear unit. So I think the Order foot soldiers, let's see if they hit us here. Yep. 2 years still. All right. I think I want the gunners. Jeez, still 2 years. Well, because what I'll do, you know, if I'm attacked, is just withdraw here. I'd like fewer urban militia, honestly. Alright, there is a way I can get fewer urban militia. It's going to require that I have a beat-up unit of urban militia. So we do this, and then we merge units, merge these 2 units, so that I'm giving this unit, like, 26 men. So that'll be good. I really don't want this guy to fight anyway. He's just there for, you know, the leadership. Okay, we can make cogs here. Let's go hog on some cogs. And Carracks, okay. Yeah, let's go up towards that. Caravel sunk. Yeah, so this might not work. Did I forget to... Yep, we've got a marriage there. Alright, English and Byzantine still at war, but they've basically kicked them out. So now they don't share a border. So this is too late. They're gonna not be at war. Damn, I missed my chance. Alright, we'll try again. We may as well ally with the Byzantines. Like, I don't want to deal with this right now. We're trading with Rhodes. They've kept the port. That's all good. Okay, and Spain has taken Corsica. Let's actually take a look at that, see if maybe we can undermine them there. And we had an heir come of age. Perfect, he's 16. So, Prince Philippe, not too great. Just secret adultery and stats pretty unimpressive. But we may as well try to get him married. Send our princess over somewhere. And do I have any emissaries? We've got you. Are there any princesses around? I mean, there could be behind all these stacks. There's one. All right, let's see if she would be so good as to give her hand in marriage to Prince Philippe. Okay, the English used my fleet to get to Khazar, I'm just realizing. Which is good, it saves them having to traipse through all of my territory. So this crusade's gonna fail. Interesting. Wow, okay, so this king died young. He was 51, 52, maybe 53. Alright, we've got unrest in Rum. Interesting. Alright, we're allied with the Byzantines, but it doesn't matter because they're no longer at war with the English. So we are still allied with the English. And our bishop is still looking for the Khan here. So maybe he will agree to an alliance next. I don't know where the crusade went, but I think it's still active. So I don't think the English are done yet. Unfortunately, we lost our spy in Rum. And we might have a hard time getting another one up here. No, we could go Constantinople, Trebizond, Rum. So let's do that. We'll keep that going. There's the crusade. Yeah, they're just going to hang out here. Okay, well, I may as well train a few more spies then, right? There's my merchant. All right, I just had to... Stalhansky, forgive me if I'm getting the name wrong, comment on the utter neglect of Flanders. And this is why. I'll show you why. What's Flanders got? It's got wool. It's got grain. It does have silk, admittedly, which seems fancy. Fancier than the other two trade goods. But silk is pretty common in the West. There's all sorts of places that have silk. Toulouse has silk. You know, lots of places in Spain have silk. And if you're playing in the West, you're going to see lots of provinces with silk. And if you're playing like in the Northwest, you're going to see lots of provinces with wool. And even grain in the West, like down here. So it feels like, to me, this stuff is kind of middle-of-the-road trade goods, and I never think of Flanders as a super rich province, even though undoubtedly it is. Look, it's making 4,000, right? This is making 3,000 for me right now. Now, granted, I've got big trade networks set up, but Flanders is objectively really good. I just forget about it because I'm starry-eyed with appreciation of Constantinople and Antioch and Tripoli, right? These are kind of like the absolute cream of the crop. And so I prioritize these because they tend to have more exotic, rare goods like spices, gems, especially after the Marco Polo event. Constantinople has dyes. I think this is one of the only places you can find that. Maybe the only. So, you know, there are some really rare goods over here, and I just forget that Flanders is that good, because it's got stuff that you can find kind of all the way around it. And until the trade gets really well established, these kinds of goods, I mean, you're not going to trade with anything in England, right? If you just get a single boat into the English Channel here. Even Friesland has wool, right? So anyway, here we go, though. We are upgrading it. We're putting that on autopilot, so that will just continue. Okay, we do need to keep this stuff in mind. Some potentially disloyal guys. Yeah, you too. I'll keep you there because you're pretty loyal. All right, here's King Philippe. Now, fortunately, we're going to avoid the bug that I really didn't think I would run into again, which is the bug where you queue up a marriage, and then the marriage is accepted, and then your son becomes the king, and then he becomes the king, but he's got no wife, but you still have an alliance, if that's what you were getting. So in this case, yeah, we're allied with the Spanish, but he doesn't have a wife. But I don't think she said yes, so she's still here. So let's try that. She's 15. All right. He's 17. And then we'll see if that's going to work out. All right, we've got pretty loyal guys here as well. Pretty elite army. I'd love to avoid betraying my ally here. So that's sort of the goal. I don't imagine this is going to succeed, at least in the long term. But maybe the horde is going to get big again, which would be kind of nice. All right, they do move down into Georgia. All right, we've got a marriage for the king. Just double check that. Awesome. Great. So he's got some work to do. He's secret adulteress. That's fine. But we need to work on the influence. So I really hope that we can get an alliance with the Khan, who is where now? He's moved off. All right, back in Kiev, I guess. So we're still working on that. But the English were able to drive them off, drive them out of Georgia. I presume next turn they're going to hit Rum. Let's get some spies down to Constantinople. And we'll move this guy over, actually. Trebizond is fair game. Rum is fair game. No border forts there. Armenia is fair game. We could again try this out. Okay, we were going to do this. I completely forgot this. So, get him in the same stack. Swap it over. Now we've got 15 men here. Put you there, and now we've got 3 years. Okay, good. I don't need to disband another unit. We'll just get rid of these 60 urban militia. They can go to Tripoli, I guess. And then join with a more loyal general. So now, if we get attacked here in Constantinople, we've got some time. Yeah, let's go for the fortress. It's 20 years, so this is a very long-term thing, but let's do it. We've got the money for it. And, I don't see that crusade again, which may mean that it has truly failed. All right, good. Nope, there it is, or there is one. All right, alliance with the Golden Horde. Now we've got to choose. All right. Do you wish to remain allied to the Golden Horde? This will cancel your alliance with the English. Yes. Alright. This is the big moment. The English have the support of the Pope. They've still got a crusade. Maybe this is the same crusade, still trying for Khazar. However, our spy is causing them a bit of heartburn here because they need to keep taxes low to keep things relatively happy. So let's keep moving spies along here. I'm going to go right into Armenia because this seems like the better option. They're very low taxes and very few men in the garrison. We could also try Syria, actually. So let's keep spies trained. Yep, okay, that should be fine. And then we're going to have to be ready to, you know, defend Flanders. But still, the English don't have ships. They've got one up here in the North Sea. There may be some over in the Baltic, but I think that's it for ships for them. So if they want to send another crusade, it's going to have to go over land, which is, you know, that's got pros and cons for me, of course. All right. So we've built the units we want to build. We just got a marriage with the Spanish princess. If we attack the English, we do have to wonder what the Spanish are going to do. Also, we have to wonder what the papacy, the Italians, and the Danes are going to do. Now, the English are bigger than me. They are slightly behind in glorious achievement points, but they have more provinces for sure. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Who knows? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, possibly 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 plus, right? So they are double, more than double, the strength of my faction in terms of number of provinces. That means I may be able to get away with a few attacks against the English without being warned by the Pope. So I may be able to go for a little while without the Pope saying, stop, or you're going to be excommunicated. Now, we've got a 19-year-old king. He's got no heirs currently of age. He's got, this has to be a younger brother, right? Prince John, who's 11. That is it. At least he's married. He's going to start to, you know, produce children. But that's it. We could wait 4 years or 5 years before the attack so that his son will come, or his brother can come of age, and his brother we could send somewhere, you know, like Crete, just to sort of weather the storm, just to be our backup heir. That might be a good move before we actually do this. It may also give us some time to build up here. All right, swap that. There we go. We want the 60 strong guys to get the armor upgrade. It probably won't matter too much because we're going to be retraining a bunch of people anyway. All right, yeah, let's just keep going halberds. That seems reasonable up here. Let's keep going. Some hobilars, some halberds, and an archer. We could get mercs, but I don't think I want to. All right, let's get a mix then. Some swords, a cav, crossbow, and here I think we could use, you know, 1 or 2 more of you, and 3 more of you, and let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. we're not going fully mask off here, but the English have to know that, you know, something's going wrong. The balance of power is slightly shifting. So are they going to hit me before I can hit them? All right, Occam's razor, negative zeal. Okay. How's this going? 23% loyalty in Armenia. My gosh. Okay, there's this Khazar Crusade that may be successful. Let's see, yeah, let's try you in Rum. There may be a spy in here. Yeah, Tripoli and then Syria. All right, there is an English ship right here, just a little bark. Oh, they're going into Constantinople. What a bunch of jerks. They're going from, what is it, Anatolia or Nicaea into Constantinople. That... Ugh. All right, good. How do you like that? How do you like that? All right, so far nothing, but they're just gonna suck up a bunch of troops. Actually, zeal is incredibly low here. I can see they've moved in this Inquisitor to try to increase it. All right, so this is a little rebellion. It may not work. But let's switch spies and just see if we can tip the balance over here, because this guy is a little bit better than this guy. If we can get Rum going too. And, yep, you go into Syria. I don't know that there's much chance of flipping this, but we will see. All right. King of England died from an illness. All right, and his successor is in Northumbria. Okay, our spy tells us that the English are planning to attack the Golden Horde, which is, yeah. Thanks. All right, yeah, we gotta be careful about loyalty still. Okay, we do have another... Yes, so he should rule over everyone who's trained there. Alright, and that's also fine. We've got another princess. Let's send her to Swabia to see what the English have there. Oh, this is not good. Not good. Civil war amongst the Horde. Alright, the rebels have temporarily won in Armenia. And in Rum, loyalty is surprisingly high. They must have a spy in here. I mean, I guess it could be just the garrison size, too. Spanish making their move. All right, Pope and the King of the Danes have died. All right. Well, I think I don't need to be allied with the Golden Horde anymore. I want to stay allied with the Spanish if there's a chance that they stay allied with me when I attack England. So, no. Still got the Spanish alliance. We're still not allied with England. And what do we got? 1 more year for Prince John, and then we're going to send him up here, and then get him out of the country. Alright, let's flip it again. We could try Trebizond, I guess. Yeah, they got 1,600 men in that crusade. So Khazar is probably going to stay just perfectly happy. Looks like the Horde retained Kiev but lost Moldavia to the rebels of the Civil War. And the papacy is moving in on that. We've got a massive problem here with just the huge, yeah, this. Alright, Prince Jean has come of age, and we've got a son born, and that's awesome. Strange, but great warrior. Okay, I'll take it. Let's just check this. We need a ship to continue our fleet. We're still making a ton of money, but let's move a caravel down. Alright, Prince Jean. Okay, he's not super loyal, but I will risk moving him somewhere. Fortunately, he doesn't have great command, which means that we can tuck him like under this guy, who is loyal and has more command. So he won't be starting a rebellion if he can just hold his hat for you know, the duration of his trip down to Crete. All right, we're not making a lot of headway here. Khazar has fallen, still got a border fort, and the Horde is just crumbling. So English are getting massive in the east, obviously. Once we get the prince off to safety, I'll feel better about this. Hopefully we can do that before the English hit us. This also, what the Spanish have just done in taking Arabia, is it puts them right up against the English at another point. Oh. Oh, what's this? It's the Spanish. All right. We're not going to war with the English. Oh, so the Spanish have attacked. The Pope has dropped their alliance, his alliance with me. The Italians have dropped his alliance with me. All right, so this changes things. Prince Jean now cannot get anywhere because the Spanish have sunk about half my fleet and are blockading the rest of it. The English are now no longer my threat. In fact, I may want to ally with them just to ensure that I'm not going to be, you know, backstabbed at the moment. The English might be open to that. They're in war with the Golden Horde. They're actively crusading against them. The English are allied with the papacy and the Spanish, though, so it may not be possible at this time. So I may just be in a lot of trouble. All right. So I was going to hit Anjou, like this turn. What I was going to do is this. You send the prince down here to Crete, and we hit Anjou. And if I knew I was going to be attacked, I may not have let the crusade through. And look at this. They took out how many hundreds of men just by setting a crusade here. All right, where did this crusade originate from? It may have been Normandy. It may have been Anjou. So here's a mechanic to this game that here's how it works with excommunication. I may not be able to avoid excommunication because if the Pope gets involved, I think if he goes to war with me, I'm just excommunicated. Not sure about that. But let's say I attack the English and the Pope says, hey, knock it off. If you keep attacking them, you're going to be excommunicated. He's given me a warning. But that warning is specific to the English. I am then free to attack the Spanish or any other Catholic faction without getting a warning for, I believe, at least as long as that warning lasts. So typically the Pope, it'll say, withdraw your troops within 2 years and don't attack them again for 10 years after the fact. So you've got like a 12-year period that warning lasts. I think that's how long it effectively is. But during that 12-year period, you could do anything else to anybody else, and the Pope will not warn you off of it. So that's what I could do. I could attack the English here just as a ploy, and then hit the Spanish really hard, or try to. You know, attack the English, get the warning. This is just so terrible. Let's just combine. All right, we got some generals here that will not combine nicely, but that's all right. Okay. All right. So what can we do? We're not yet at war with the English. Okay, there's the English. Is it worth trying to get an alliance? Let's see, he's 20. All right, he's got an heir somewhere. But he's not married. And there's a possibility that his heir is like a 44-year-old cousin or something who may precede him in death. So what I'm wondering here is, because the English are so big, maybe I won't get warned away by attacking them, right? And maybe it makes the most sense just to focus on the Spanish. Let's see, I can get this ship back. I think I want to keep these ships together. This, though, yeah, that's a caravel. All right, we've got a ship here. Actually, we lost our presence in the Atlantic Ocean, but we do have this ship on the Atlantic coast. We've got Spanish coast here. It would be nice, but I can't. It would be nice to be able to hit them with some sort of naval action. But they do have too many ships. But this is the point at which we start taking our boats out. So we take you, and you guys all have great range. I think I'll leave 2 here at the Nile. Get you right there off Sicily. And we do have 1 guy here in the Western Mediterranean. I think I want to put him up here. So we're kind of defending those coasts. And we're relatively safe over here. Let's take a couple of caravels. All right, no, I don't want to do that. Yep, take a couple of ships down here to, again, we're just trying to contest. All right. We're still training ships. And I can, continue to do so. But this is now a war zone right here. All right. So let's think about this. I mean, this is isolated. And we could take Egypt and do something with it. And I wonder if the Spanish, will the Spanish get excommunicated? They've got 1, 2, 3, 4... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So they've got more than me. They're attacking me. I'm the smaller guy. So maybe I sit tight for like a couple of years and see if the Spanish get excommunicated. Do I have a crusade marker? I do here. And I need to start defending that. All right, let's cancel those ships, actually. Let's get a bunch of horse archers in Tripoli, right? No, in Antioch. And here we will go for kind of the heavier guys. And here we will go for some calves, some spears, an archer. We could hit them from Crete as well. Okay, Duke of Crete has got 3 command stars. Who can I leave behind? No one. Everyone's very disloyal here. All right. Actually, this has not been touched during the Crusade, so this is still good. But Crete, I could train up some guys. Let's just get you. Let's get ships. Let's keep training chivalric knights. Training you. Keep training you. All right, I'm gonna hold off. But look at the armor on these mercs. Golden armor upgrades. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll see if the Spanish get hit because I'm smaller than they are. There's an attack coming into where is that? Coming into Flanders. All right. Oh my gosh. All right. So we're probably going to lose this. So what I think I might do here... Yeah, we got no archers, but some of these guys would be great in the stronghold itself. So if I fight the battle in person, I think what's going to happen is this. I think I can have some of them withdraw, like, relatively immediately. Maybe even including the general. And I put, like, 2 units, like halberdiers, and I just have them withdraw right off the field. They go back to the... Geez, is it a fortress? It might be a fortress at this point. And then I watch that stupid army of the Spanish try to assault. Because I could leave, like, these guys behind and, like, 2 units of halberdiers. But yeah, get the Royal Knights, get them back to the castle. Because I don't think I would beat this army because they get too much ranged stuff. But ranged stuff is really not going to matter in a castle fight. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Royal Knights get to be in the castle. Let's take 3 halberd units. And honestly, everybody else... Yeah, you guys can just hide in the trees or something. Just, you know, come and fight me in the trees, take some losses. Yeah, including you 2 halberdiers. Alright, so all of you... withdraw? Where's my little, I can route them. We'll do that. Yeah, Control W. Yeah, it's here. Alright, so all these guys withdrawing from the battle. And the hope, I guess, is that most of these guys will, who are staying behind, will die in the fight. Or get cut down. Or, you know, get captured or whatever. How interesting that the Spanish went for Flanders, right? This feels like a early modern Total War. Alright, they got some Royal Knights. It's a lot of these Spanish Jeunesse, which are, you know, an annoying unit to deal with. Alright, have these Arbalesters. I don't know why they're sending these guys up. Probably just to soak up the arrow fire. Yeah, let's send the urban militia. If these guys rout, hopefully it won't scare the other guys too bad. Now these are Pavi's Arbalesters. They're going to do okay in melee, I would think. But they're not in melee, they're just running away, so we're getting a bunch of free kills here, which is nice. This is actually a unit that would be good to get rid of in a siege. Or before a siege. We just took 1 loss, they've lost half, now they're routing. Alright, run back. Alright, and we we can't go too far up this hill anyway. I guess we'll put him on fire at will. Okay, yep. Send the urban militia out. I'm not going to waste a bunch of arrows on these guys. The urban militia are going to rout. That's fine. We'll at least pull everybody else in, get some likelier targets. Yeah, skirmish me as well. Halberdiers have low morale. But this should be okay. It's a good opportunity to kill some of their higher tier units. Alright, what are you doing? Oh, there's just chaos everywhere. They're trying to avoid the other cav. Alright, let's hit those Royal Knights there. Okay, yeah, running away. So we're going to have a lot of guys left, sadly. I was hoping we would have gone through a few more halberds. But there we go. Here, though, here we've got the big battle, or one of the big battles. This is Toulouse. 1,824 versus 11,537 men. This is pretty much everything that they had in Aquitaine, I would guess. Let's take a look at the ridiculousness of this stack. It's just going to be the sheer numbers of this. So they've got like you would expect, a very, very mixed bag. It's a lot of the low tier units, peasants included, Spanish javelinmen included, but a bunch of Spanish Jeannettes, a bunch of cav, feudal knights, royal knights. They got a bunch of chivalric sergeants, some halberdiers, and it just keeps going, right? Okay, so here we finally found the bottom of it, and it's a ton. Now, I will say, you want to look at the first 16 primarily, right? So my first 16 looks really good compared to their first 16. Now, I've only got 4 archer units at all, but I think I want to bring them out in the beginning here. So let's keep the chivalric knights out, or at least most of them, and let's get rid of, like, I like the symmetry of having 4 spear units, but they don't have many cav units. So maybe we want to trade something like this. We get the less armored, less valored. Yeah, we'll go like that. Okay, so our reinforcements, we're going to shoot the crossbows and try to keep them on the field. And they should last a long time because they fire slow. Then we'll get reinforcements. We'll have you, a couple spears, then we'll have a couple swords, then we'll have a royal knights. I think I want chivalric knights first. And let's go 2. And then we'll get 2 more. And then we'll get 2 more, just kind of some light stuff. Okay? Something like that. And let's see. Can we hold out against almost 12,000 men? This is 10 times what we've got. This is the kind of battle I was expecting when the Horde emerged, but we're just getting it now with the Spanish. Alright, the ground is terrible. This is a terrible battlefield for us. Thankfully, they don't have a ton of long-range units, if I remember correctly, but they've got 1,000,000 reinforcements. I don't think we can even set up here. Yeah, this is all red. I mean, maybe we could get get up there, but... So, usually with this battlefield, I think I end up setting up, like, here. And I think that's what we'll do today. So, let's get our guy right there. And we have not seen... Look at these blue heroes here. This looks great. Alright, chivalric men-at-arms. There's the general. The crossbows and... we don't want to set up here. I mean, this is one option because it's got sort of a hill. It's even got a cliff on our right, so we could use that to prevent flanking, but they can get around it, and they would. And they've got a lot of men. They could rush us, right? And then they've got a lot of reinforcements coming, so... We do have a forest here. Maybe this is the better option. All right, let's get all of our crossbows in three ranks. Let's see how that looks. And actually, we're going to want the guys with better armor. We're going to need to be really careful about this. The guys with worse armor can be back a little. The guys with better armor can be in front. Or out in the open, let's say. So there and there. And you guys with the slightly worse armor can be taking advantage of the trees for a bit of cover. Okay. Our general. We've got 2 spear units. We're going to want them right up about here. Sort of anchor that side. And yeah, we'll have you sort of to back up. We're going to put some guys here in the trees. I don't think I want to spread out too far. We'll go like as far as here. The crossbowmen are going to have to deal with it. Alright, so we've got you. We need 2 more. This is not a lot. But we do have 5 chivalric knights. Have we seen these guys in battle? I don't think we have. Here's the chivalric knights. Beautiful unit. They've all got 2 valor. They've all got, I think it's just rank 1 armor. Is that right? So what I'm wondering is, like, how good can these guys perform on their own? Like, can we just plow into them with 5 units of chivalric knights and kind of call it a day? Because I don't know about using this army in tandem, right? Like, these guys are fine. They're fine. But if they get slammed, you know, using this all... Like, holding these guys back may be a waste, and I just run through these guys. So maybe I'm thinking about this too hard, and I just need to think about it like a medieval Frenchman and get my knights out there and just, you know, kind of get ready to wreck stuff. Get the crossbows there to kind of back up. All right. Okay. Yeah, massive. We're just going to go for their left. Oh, they're going to attack. They're winning easily against chivalric knights. Feudal sergeants losing badly, actually. Right, what's that? Chivalric men-at-arms. Spanish Unites. let's run in with the swords. It's ridiculous how long those Genites have held. That one unit. Okay, no, they're marching. They're marching quickly. They're not even you know, routing or anything. All right, let's get in the fight. Hit the arbalesters. And we got to get the assembly point flag. All right, crossbowmen are still in. All right, let's move in, hit them on the flank. A lot of these guys got wrecked. Super disappointing. Super disappointing. Alright, target their Royal Knights. Yep, I think we're losing this one. Yep. All right. Change where the assembly point flag is coming in. Alright, we're going to call on a bunch of reinforcements here. We're going to see what we can do. Alright, what do we got here? Chivalric Knights, screw you. Chivalric Men-at-Arms. Now, these guys have a ton of valor. So, right, Chivalric Sergeants come over here. Did we just lose, like, all of our Chivalric Knight reinforcements? We friggin' did. What the heck? I mean, it's like a 9 Valor unit, so I guess that's what the heck. Alright, we get some more. Charge them in again. But I think that's it. I think we only had, like, 2, maybe 3 Chivalric Knights. We can't give orders. Oh, we can now. Alright, let's wedge it up. And hit them here. There's only 2 of them left, actually. Only 1 left. Kill that one guy real fast. Alright, we got 40 more, actually. Alright, these jerks are hitting us, so we gotta change that up, I think. Let's go to close formation. Let's follow the Spanish Jeunets with that unit. Hit the arquebusiers. Yeah, Kobalar's down here. Oh, is he running away? Right, let's hit the sergeants anyway. Alright, well, if he's going to withdraw, you know, nothing we can do about that with the units that we have. Alright, they eliminated my chivalric knights over there. Alright. So I've been wondering, and I think, you know, maybe this is a good reinforcement of my instincts. My instincts were not to use my cavalry like that. My instincts were to be a little more conservative with them. And I think that's what you got to do. That's it for reinforcements. Are we getting anything going on here? These are feudal sergeants versus chivalric sergeants. Let's hit the arquebusiers, because I would hate to have them, you know, return. All right, get out of the way. Chivalric sergeants. I want to chase down my cav. We do not want that. Actually, we don't want to do that. Pull you out. Okay, arquebusiers are actually gone. So we bring our Royal Knights back. Okay, we've routed them, which is nice. Now we've got you guys out. Let's see. We got to get rid of this group. They don't want to let us. I will say, let me just grump a little bit about this. About one aspect of Total War games that I don't enjoy is the reliance on micromanagement of the units as the thing, rather than like... Sometimes it feels like the AI is just looking for matchups, right? Which it is. I think they're programmed to say, well, okay, spears are over here, so spears get cav. But it results in these kind of pull-aways from, like, the battle. And so it feels less like you're playing, like a simulation of a war game, and more like you're playing a simulation of, like, a football game or something, where there's not really, like, a cohesive field strategy. I don't know about football. I don't know why I'm talking like this. But, do you know what I mean? Like you get units doing things based on their own, you know, abilities, rather than working together in a way that seems to sensibly replicate a true, like, medieval battlefield experience. That's the impression that I get sometimes, anyway. So, I don't know if that's fair, or just because, like, I feel like I just, you know, got hit, you know, by the Spanish, and I wasn't ready for it, you know. It was gonna come regardless, right? So maybe this is just a grump on my part, but... Because you know, in an actual battle, you don't see about this sort of thing, like where it's just these little knots of mini battles, and it happens a lot in Total War games. Okay, anyway, more Spanish chinettes. My chivalric men-at-arms are running away. Spearmen are hanging on, though. You know, these 40 spearmen. Okay, they just got the route signal. Great. Let's pull my cav back. Bring the feudal sergeants back. And it's crazy. You got the feudal sergeants are the guys who are left at this point in the battle. It's crazy. Okay, good. They're gone. All right, now I think we may be able to get them into a melee. Yep. Okay, do I want to... Let's pull around. Let's surround them. Okay, you guys, you know, actually maybe can just set up here. And because we're unexpert, they're going to fight to almost the last man. Well, I mean, they've still got their general, I guess. He withdrew. I don't know how this works. If I withdraw my general, do the rest of the guys get the morale debuff for losing your general? Or is it just the debuff for not, you know, having your general nearby? He fought to the death. Fought to the absolute death. Alright, it's quiet for a minute. We can bring our few units back. Here we're getting into some stuff like peasants. So we do this as long as we can, right? Our guys are very tired or quite tired at best. Captured 112. Man, okay. Urban militia. I think it looks like 2 units of urban militia. A couple peasants. I should be able, theoretically, with 2 units of cav, to kill those peasants pretty straightforwardly. Let's let them get a little closer, and then we'll sort of swing out if we can. But I want to get my guys some fatigue back. I think if we sit here for a little bit, we will get some... Maybe we'll get up to quite tired. Yep. We're getting there. So I don't want to send them out and waste all of their energy. But the longer I wait, the longer they're going to have to pull guys forward. Alright, what are you guys doing? Oh, here they come. Okay. I think we're going to have to take these guys all on together. What is that? Militia sergeants, spearmen. Okay. Alright, they're attacking straightforwardly. Nope, nope, nope. Right, get the chivalric guys. Hit the peasants in the back. If we get some routing, that might be good. Great, big rout with the peasants. Rout with the chivalrics. Nice. Alright, now you guys stop and reform. Men-at-Arms come back. And yeah, actually you guys can maybe head forward. I think I want to keep my cab on those sergeants, but not the men-at-arms. The men-at-arms can wait. Alright, we actually have some extra knights I can use here. Let's go around. Get the urban militia in the flank. And we got to do this, right? Because they're being stupid. This is the thing that annoys me. You wouldn't see a unit of men like doing this, right? They would recognize we're about to be attacked in the flank. But anyway, we'll hit that. Right, great routing there. Not quite here yet. Let's march towards their back. Alright, this is fine. We can now pull away. What is it? Spearmen, militia sergeants, spearmen, militia sergeants, Spanish genets. Alright. Great, everybody's now routing. Alright, feudal sergeants, we gotta come back. Like there. Alright, let him go. We're very tired again. Alright, some feudal sergeants coming down the hill too. Some Pavey's crossbowmen, but these are beaten up, so not sure if they're withdrawing or arriving. So the militia sergeants are going to be kind of tough. But you'll get the Spanish genets to worry about. Yeah, the most frustrating unit. Okay, just one. And look at the valor on these spearmen. 6. Yeah, 6 valor. 4 valor for the militia sergeants. Looks like 5 for the genets. Alright, let's get around them and start flanking, I guess. Come on. Alright, militia sergeants are going to catch us. Sadly. Probably before these guys rout. Oh, come on. Alright, that's going to sucker the other guys in to melee, though. Maybe. Ah, we're gonna lose so many Royal Knights. Oh, this sucks. Hit him, hit him, hit him. Damn. Alright, let's just speed it up. Yep. All those guys. Alright, how many? We killed 1,500. We killed about a 10th of what they had. And we lost 1,600. So that's pretty good. All right, good. Kept a Spanish coast. Good. Good. Ransom demanded. No. We do not negotiate with Spanish. Got another son. Okay. No one else has joined in. Yet. And let's see. 2 years. Okay. Let's see if they're going to assault. I don't know if they will. Loyalty is low. We may get a loyalist revolt here. What's the likelihood? 50%. Let's go for it. We got a cardinal up here. Okay. So, they appear to have left Aquitaine empty. That is, of course, not true, or it will not be true after this turn. What they're going to do is move at least some, possibly a lot of their stacks from Toulouse right back there. So we're still pretty limited. Like we could move some troops in, and we probably should, right, on some level. Now, this guy is dead drunk, which means he should never get into battle, but brave beyond belief, +3 morale, so that's nice. He's got 7 valor, which is just deeply unfortunate, given the fact that he shouldn't get in a fight. We're still training troops in Ile-de-France. We're still making 7,000, but that really took a big chunk out of our money now that we're at war with Spain. They appear to have left Sinai entirely empty. Loyalty there is 97%. There's a border fort, or I'd consider moving a spy. Oh yeah, let's move some guys down here. Like, we could invade right now with this stack. The problem is keeping any sort of loyalty in Crete. So we could just do something like that. That looks fine, actually. We just move a big mercenary army down to Sinai. You know, like, part of me wants to wait for the excommunication of the Spanish before we do anything like this. But I don't think we can afford to, really. Okay, I think I need to keep my spy there. Yeah, let's move up one more. Actually, we'll do that. We'll move you to Egypt because it only has a watchtower. There's a chance if they move troops back, we can get them to you know, draw down their loyalty. And I know this is a silly looking army, but it does have some good mercenaries, and it'll help us keep our costs down. In Cyprus, since we're still training ships, what do we actually need here? I think we got to keep him, and we need to keep like one other unit. That's really it. Oh, no, okay. Well, we can just lower the taxes. It doesn't need to be super high. Cyprus is not making money anyway. So we'll just do that. Naval attack into Sinai. And where is the Spanish king? Alright, he's in Leon. We can't see what his influence is or anything like that. Look at this pathetic loyalty. Well, we're losing influence, right? So, what we could do is, you know, we could hit Flanders from Ile-de-France. And this would be relatively safe, actually. So we probably should do it. Much as I'd like to invite them into a big sort of siege assault that they can't win. The fact is, too, well, no, they can't move troops in because I've got ships here that are blocking them. So Flanders is safe for the moment. I may want to move this ship, though. Let's get down here just to see if we can mess them up a bit more. Yeah, where... Oh, my prince is in here. Oh, dang. I forgot. He was the prince. Okay. I should not have withdrawn him. I should... well... All right, Prince Louis, we've got some time. We've got, what is it, 13 more years, and he will come of age. So we do need to rescue the brother. All right, so this will be good. This will be a useful thing to do. This is a safe province to attack out of. So is this, by the way. We could just move them all here. Then we could move them, if there's no more Spanish ships, from Flanders to Brittany, and then down to Aquitaine. So this is a good way of getting our troops around where we might actually need them. Let's take all of you guys who are like relatively full. And he's fine too. We'll take him because he's got 4 stars. And he's loyal. We'll leave you guys behind. I think I'll leave the king here. Because this is safe for now. We'll leave you guys... But yeah, all of you go up here. Let's leave you to hold Champagne. And let's use Lord Genin, right? As the 6-star general who can hopefully clean this up a little bit. All right, there is a border fort. But this is isolated now thanks to our ship that still exists here. Okay, but speaking of ships, we can move some more. Let's move the cogs. Okay, there's no Spanish ships here. There's none near Toulouse. So let's go for the Gulf of Valencia. Let's hope this boat can hold out. I know they've got ships here. I might want to contest that. But I do want to keep ships here. Let's again keep them there sort of defensively. And maybe I don't need 2 in the Malta Channel. I think I want to back up there. And 2 backups, why not? Okay, Brittany. So what's this? So this is a 3-year wait, which they may just wait, but they may assault and they'd probably win because they would just overwhelm me. That said, we do have the Barbican, right? It's okay. But I think what we're going to do is this. We'll move down. Gosh, I need to leave somebody here. So we'll move you. And I guess we'll leave you and 1 other unit. What are we just... Okay, we've just got numbers. Alright, leave the peasants then. This goes down to Aquitaine. I feel like we have to do this. But I also feel like we're going to withdraw as soon as they counterattack, right? Or as soon as they move back in. Well, we'll leave it like this. So here's what's going to happen. We've got this big counterattack queued up in Flanders. We're going to hopefully drive them out. We'll probably have to, fight it and, kill them all. We will make a move into Aquitaine. The problem is we risk this general picking up a bad trait. He is brave beyond belief, so that's +3 morale, which is enough to counter the potential bad trait he could get if he calls off the attack, which we may do. But I think we've got to at least put a presence in here. We're moving ships around. We are attacking Sinai, which looks, is undefended currently. There's nobody here. There probably will be some people here, so we will have to fight for Sinai, I am sure. And then we'll see what happens. Maybe we get an excommunication and we can start using this crusade marker and doing crusades again. Or maybe things will flip and the Pope will warn us off of the Spanish. I'm not 100% confident yet. But we have started a war in earnest. This is not the war we wanted, but we are in the thick of it. This is a fight for our very survival because we've got a 26-year-old King Philippe III. None of his children, none of his sons, are anywhere near coming of age. We've got a long wait. His brother, the only heir, is stuck currently in Flanders under siege, so we're trying to rescue him with some of our best generals and some of our pretty decent troops. But we don't have the option to build chivalric knights anymore. We need to get Toulouse back in order for that to happen. So maybe this turn, the Spanish, in addition to resolving all those battles, maybe we'll have to have the Spanish assault and defend the Toulouse castle there to see if we can possibly hold it or at least inflict some damage on them. I'm not sure how this is going to go. Like I said, at the past few episodes, things have been very, I don't want to say boring, because for me they have been very tense, but they have been quiet. And we needed to resolve this. So here comes the resolution, and we're going to see how it goes. So I hope you join me for the next episode. Take care until then.